Good morning. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dhammadharini. This is the Sunday morning program from Dhammadharini Monastery in Tabura, Bhikkhuni. And we had a recording problem with the intro on the live program, so this is a re-recording. So today we have a special program with our friends Annaneia and Shirley. They're going to be offering the program this morning. And their topic is Keeping Balance During the Holidays, Practice with Emotions. Annaneia and Shirley are very, very long-time friends of our community. Ayatollah Taloka wanted to especially send her greetings and her blessings and her appreciation to the two of them for joining us. It's been a long hoped-for plan to have them lead a program for us, so I'm very glad that they're with us this morning. So just to introduce both of them, so Shirley, in the late 90s, she began formal meditation training while working overseas in a highly demanding position. This practice has profoundly transformed her outlook and brought her greater ease in both professional and personal life. Over the following 2 decades, she studied extensively with various meditation masters, including Shaila Catherine, Ajahn Brahm, Bhante Ujagara, and Mingyur Rinpoche. Other teachers who have profoundly influenced her include Joseph Goldstein, Bhante Analayo, and Ayatollah Taloka, and many others. Recently, she completed Mingyur Rinpoche's 1-year intensive meditation teacher training program. She's been leading a small meditation group in a senior community for 2 years, sharing the benefits of meditation with the community, and providing support to seniors facing the challenges of aging, illness, and death. She intends to continue teaching as long as she is capable. And for Annaneia, her practice began in 1998 while living in the island of Hawaii, when she had the good fortune of having Kamala Masters and Steve Armstrong regularly visit their Sangha. When she returned to Santa Rosa in 2002, she joined a meditation Sangha and met a long-term practitioner, Diane Sherman, who became a Kalyanamitta. She gave good advice about Dhamma teachers, which led Annaneia to her first Metta and Vipassana retreats with Kamala Masters, Steve Armstrong, and Joseph Goldstein, and subsequent long retreats with Sayadaw Ujagara, Shaila Catherine, and others. 10 years ago, Diane introduced her to Dhammadharini, where she was able to practice in person locally with Ayatollah Taloka, Ayasobana, and she eventually became a board member. This has been invaluable. Major influences have also been Ajahn Brahm, Ajahn Sumedho, Ajahn Sucitto, Ajahn Pasano, and Jetsun Ma Tenzin Palmo. So we're very glad for them to join us this morning.
I have joined the Dhammadharini community for a long time, so this is like coming home. But again, this is my first time, so I'm a little nervous. I'm very happy to have Annaneia here with me. She's like a reassurance for me, her presence here. So we have known each other for a long time and very good Dhamma friends, and we support each other, in our ups and downs. So, so it's really great to have her with me. So, since this is, I don't know, Frambo Tefera, is there anybody in person attending the session today?
Actually, not anyone here in person, it's just me.
Okay, fine. So since it's Zoom gathering, first of all, I like to be a little more interactive. So if you don't mind, turn on your camera so we can greet each other, at least have a little physical, gesture. And if there's any reason you want to keep yourself, the camera off, that's fine also. I'm just happy that you're here. So just wave to each other and that, Anjali, whatever you want to do, just smile. Okay, very good. So before we start, Annaneia, would you like to say something first?
I'm just happy to see people that I've known for quite a while. To Sharanya and Upasika Elaine and Daniel, who is also local, which is really great. And I have not met, I've seen Doug in the programs for the past couple of months, so welcome, Doug, and also to John. So we're happy to do this, and also, Aya Kachina and the others are now starting, they're on their way to India to do the pilgrimage to the Bhikkhuni sacred sites. Their journey begins in a few days, actually, when they're finally all there. But so we send good wishes to them on their journey, and that they have a very beneficial and helpful pilgrimage and safe return.
Thank you, Annaneia. Okay, today's program, I will just do guided meditation, maybe about 30 minutes with a short intro. And then afterwards, Annaneia and I will alternate taking whatever questions that you have. We would appreciate if you limit to the question regarding meditation, especially today's theme. Because of time restraint, we cannot entertain a lot of other questions. So, okay. So today's theme is balancing during the holiday season, and it's actually just working with emotions. So I'm sure you all know that there's many methods to be working with emotions, and during the holidays, there's a lot of incidents that might trigger very strong emotions, like maybe sadness when we remember, the loss, the loved ones we have lost, or joy, when we remember happy gatherings. So, how do we keep a balance? Like Bhante Ananio like to say, keeping equipoise. So that's a really profound word, equipoise. So, and we know that there's many methods. The most common one is just using an antidote. It's like using loving kindness when we feel angry, and or just turning our attention to a sound, etc. And when the emotion is really overwhelming and really too strong, sometimes it's better just to do something else. As the Buddha has suggested in the sutta, just do something else, maybe go out for a walk, etc., just for a change, and come back. There's no need to beat ourselves against the wall, and just be gentle with ourselves. So today I would like to share something very simple, and it's just simply recognize the emotions when it first arises, and just resting on it, just embracing it, and be friendly with it, and just watch it pass away. Everything very gently, very softly. And as we know, emotion is very unstable, very impermanent, and sometimes it will pass away, sometimes it will change to something else, or sometimes they will linger on. We just gently just rest on it, no matter what happens, and see it passing away. So, and this method is actually transforming the habits and the relationship that we have built up with whatever that's happening around us. So it's transformative. And if we practice it again and again, it just reinforces that transformation. So we will start the exercise with some very mild emotions. This takes a little bit imagination. So just like imagine, if you're rushing and trying to get ready in the morning and you burn your toes. what is that, first reaction that you have? What is that feeling that you have? Or, you spill your coffee or tea, just something very minor. So then we can work with it, then we practice it. So during daily life, when some emotion arises, then we can just let it rest and pass away like that also. So, okay, are we ready? So let's sit upright in a comfortable position. You can close your eye if you want to, or you can just keep it slightly open, just in a gentle gaze. Just take a second, just rest there, and just be whatever that's right in front of you. No need to do anything. So take a couple of gentle breaths just on your out breath. Just feel your breath sweep from your head to your toe, and just sweep all the tension away. On your next out breath, just drop your jaw if it's a little bit tense. And on another out breath, just drop your shoulder and let yourself sink into your cushion. Just rest there for a couple of seconds. Now just imagine yourself trying to get ready in the morning. And you're rushing a little bit, and you put a piece of bread into your toaster. Somehow the toast got burned and got stuck in the toaster. How do you feel? Whatever you're feeling, just recognize it. Just aware of it. Just rest on it. And just watch and see what happens. If it passes away, then just rest. If there's any lingering feeling, just rest on it again, gently. Just be friend with it. and just watch it passing away. You can do it a few more times if your mind inclines to do so. Just rest every time after emotion passes away for a little while. Or if you think, oh, this exercise makes no sense to me. I just want to settle my mind and calm my mind in this meditation. That's okay. Just rest on the feeling of this makes no sense feeling and see what happens. Now just rest. Just notice that you might feel a little bit agitated, but our knowing quality and our awareness is not agitated. Emotions are just like clouds in the sky. It doesn't affect the sky. And expand your awareness as fast as the sky and just allow everything to happen. Just like the clouds drifting by and just watching the clouds drifting by. Now feel the metta and goodwill that's in this group. Fill your heart with that metta. Let your heart be open. Let your whole body immerse in that metta, friendliness, and goodwill. Just feel the yin you and that is overflowing. Now radiant that metta and goodwill to the whole wide world, including all the galaxies, in all directions. May the world be at peace and in harmony. And may all the living beings be happy, at peace, and at ease. Just rest on that thought for a second. And open your eyes whenever you're ready into a gentle gaze. And just feel your surroundings. Thank you. So, any questions? Annaneia, would you start?
Yeah, I guess adding to the theme in dealing with emotions and staying with them or whatever, that if you stay with this practice, it gets easier and easier to sense things faster in order to just be with it and let the emotion pass away. And even in the midst, if you practice with this for a period of time on an ongoing basis, even when things can get very, very personally challenging through your own illnesses, or unfortunate circumstances with loved ones and dear friends, or the passing of family or dear friends, it's possible to stay with the feeling and just allow it to be there, but not to become overwhelmed, and to continue to have a more balanced feeling level. So I just wanted to add that. And you know, some of you have heard me say this before, but when you get the opportunity to do a 10-day or longer retreat, I would highly recommend doing that. Both Shirley and I have done it. Shirley has done, I think, more of them than myself, but it's and during those periods, you really are able, you have less interference, right? So your only task is to be there and to work with your breath and whatever meditations are in focus at that time. And you can make really great progress in deepening your practice through that means. However, when you finish the retreat, you still come home and you have to, having the daily practice is still the bedrock of gaining deeper insight and progressing on the path. So that said, if anybody has something they'd like to share on this topic, or if you have a particular question that we might help you with, then please, you know the deal. Raise your hand and we can call on you. I'm really glad we have a very balanced group. Let's see, Davis, go ahead. Unmute yourself. Go ahead.
Yes, gratitude. I just noticed while speaking with my sister, my biological sister yesterday, that there's a tendency to share and almost impose the most difficult aspects of my life that I don't want to share with others who I perceive that they could separate from me with her. Like there's almost this underlying belief that she can't divorce me because she's my sister. So I should share all the worst parts of myself and the worst parts of my life with her. And I have a sense that this is what makes being around family during the holidays so difficult, because the impulse to unburden ourselves onto them is so strong, with this underlying perception that they can't really get away from us for too long. And I wonder if in your experience that resonates, or if you think that's what it is, what's going on there.
Well, from my experience, we're always part of a family, even if whether we get along with them or whether we don't get along with them, we're still part of the family. We have, with your siblings, and your children, you have biological connections. That's impossible to go away. You can mentally take yourself away, but there is still a bond there. And what I found over the years is when you're back in the family dynamic, like there are certain things that when, if I'm together on a holiday with my children, etc., then it's very easy to slip into an old pattern. In fact, during the holidays, that's one of the chief things to watch out for, is really paying attention to the dynamics going on within the gathering and what's happening for yourself within you. And are you starting to have some kind of a reaction that feels very, very familiar? So as far as unburdening, though, I think we have to follow the Buddha's recommendations on communication, whether it's with within a sangha or it's with our siblings or family, that there still has to be the awareness of, is it the right time to speak of something? Holidays can be very charged in some families, and so it can lead to some very unfortunate conflicts. So you have to see, is it the right time? And And also, am I clear within myself? Can I say this to my whomever, this family member or deep friend? Am I clear within myself? Am I harboring some old stuff that I'm about to spew forth if I don't really pay careful attention? So it's like I think it's really important not to assume that a close relation means that, yes, you can say whatever. You still have to pay attention to what is happening and find the right timing, and to be sure that you're not in the throes of some really upsetting stuff for yourself. Otherwise, whatever comes out of your mouth is likely not to be helpful, not to you and not to the other person. Does that help, Davis? Is that kind of clarifying some things for you, or give you some suggestions, perhaps?
Sadhu, sadhu, yes, very much so. Thank you so much for your clarity.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for your
Your
question.
sincerity.
Yeah, that's very beautiful, Annaneia, and I really appreciate that answer also. So I think sometimes it really happens. One of the suggestions that I can have is while we're speaking, just go inward and feel exactly how we're feeling.
Mhm.
So sometimes we can feel our self arising, the identification of self arising, feeling there's some tension in the body, and then we can respond, wisely. Another suggestion sometimes I do use is when I'm chit-chatting with other people, I just tell them, setting the boundary there, and just tell them, if it's too long-winded or it's something you're not interested anymore, just let me know. Just set some boundary. Just be honest right up front. So I don't know if that really helps, but anyway.
That's a good suggestion also. Yeah. Daniel?
Thank you. What Davis said definitely resonated with me, and I think there's a lot of insight there. I know in my past I've had relationships where the bonds feel permanent, like a biological connection, which is permanent until our bodies pass, and then that connection ends too. And so in the past, I had perceived that to be sort of a stability that kind of allowed me to behave any way I could. And I thought that was a positive thing. And then over time, as I kind of learned and grew, I realized that, well, if we define family as solely a biological connection, then it's true. Our behavior can't really end that per se. But if we define family and these relationships as like meaningful, vulnerable, deep connections, then we can definitely hurt those and harm those, based on behavior. And I think that was really helpful for me to sort of wake up and realize, like, no, this is not guaranteed. This is something you have to work at, and you have to have great gratitude for, and you have to appreciate, and you can strengthen or you can harm it. And so I found that to be really helpful in the development of those relationships. So anyway.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And Venerable Tavira. You're unmute, Aya. Unmute.
Thank you. Trying. I'm not used to managing all the tech support, so anyway, thank you. Yeah, just reflecting on what others have been saying and thinking about how, so often when emotions arise, and especially strong emotions, and especially things like anger, there can come with it this like all of this energy that's like I have to act on it and I have to do something about it. And even like what Davis was reflecting on of like, something arises and I feel like I need to share it with my sister. I need to like unburden myself of the intensity of what is happening, and I feel like I need to share that with another person and use that to sort of help me manage it. And then coming back to like what Annaneia said about really reflecting on, is it the right time to speak? And am I speaking about this in the right way? And sort of what's my intention and where am I coming from? You know, and just like when you put all that together, just thinking about exactly this practice that we're doing this morning of learning to sit with emotion. And, you know, it's, you know, if you burn your toast, it's one thing, but like when it's something that's like much more intense that comes up, learning to sit with it in meditation and actually hold it, even though it's very intense, and not act on it in any kind of outward way, I think is exactly the practice that we all need to do, so that then when something comes up in the moment, you don't immediately act on it before you've really had a chance to reflect, like, am I acting on this in the most skillful way? And,
Yes.
you know, I think the longer I practice and the more I'm able to do that, the more it has let me hold, you know, even if there's something in a relationship that's even very difficult, to really say like, no, I have the ability to hold this as long as I need to, until I can find the skillful way to work with it and the skillful way to speak about it, even if that takes 2 years or something.
This is
And
absolutely true. And in my own experience, I sometimes have had to wait months or long periods of
Yeah.
time. I have a very, very dear friend, my best and oldest long-term friend. We've been friends for 60 years at this point, almost 60 years. And earlier on, she had a very volatile kind of personality, and it wouldn't take too much to trigger her. But over time, I really learned that if I just sat with it, and first of all, if I just let the emotion stay with it and move through me and not direct it and wait, and I could say that same thing that I had in mind, but then she's receptive to it.
right.
And so
Exactly.
I've had this experience with family members or whatever. So it definitely, this is, it works. You keep practicing, and it definitely has. You'll see the benefit in your own relations. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, just one thing I do want to add. You know, in life, everything is an object of meditation, so we can practice using everything. So, as far as emotions concerned, it's very impermanent. Sometimes when people say, "I'm very upset today," so is that person actually upset the whole day? So if we sit with that emotion, you can actually watch it changing. It's really amazing how it just changed. And if there's a moment to moment, if there's a moment of really silence in between, just use that opportunity. Then, you know, just settle down and just release it. So, yeah, it takes lots of practice. And Aya, Teferet, you know, I really appreciate you mentioning that. Yes, because, you know, the more we practice it, it's really the habitual perception in our brain. So if we practice again, then the mechanic between that relationship would change. So we just have to trust, you know, emotion is very impermanent, and it's very beautiful thing to just work with it. So
Sadhu.
Yeah, it's the more you work with it. Have any of you heard that in past either Dhamma talks, meditations, or whatever, being advised that feelings aren't personal? Okay, and I'll tell you the day, and have you experienced that?
mhm.
That's one of the biggest things, the day that the light bulb goes on and says, it really isn't personal. All human beings are like this. We can't escape it. You know, Ajahn Sumedho says that being a human being, you're enveloped in a sensing organism. it is inherently irritating. There's no escaping it because that's how the body works. It's a sensing organism, right? And so learning how to work with it is what we have to do in order to regain or come to realize that actually it can be peaceful. The mind can become peaceful. The heart can be open without having, living in a fear-based way. So, yeah, it's, and at this time of the year, very, very worthwhile having these things to the front.
Yes. That's when we say, even when we are angry or upset, the awareness, the knowing quality is not upset.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think, do we have time for one more question, Annaneia?
Yeah, barely. If anyone has anything they'd like to share before we finish, this has been really nice to spend time with you. And I sincerely hope you all have a good holiday season, however you may experience that in your families and in your friendships.
Yes. Now, can we invite Aya Tafera to do the closing chanting?
Absolutely. I just want to thank you again both so much for joining us and for leading this morning. It's been really good and glad to have your voices leading the group, and hopefully we can do it again. Yes, let's pay respects to the Triple Gem. Arahant Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi. Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami. Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Sanghang Namami.
Thank you. Thank you for holding down the fort there as everybody's away.
Right, there's only 4 of us here. It's very, very small.
Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Thank you, everyone.